Craig McMillan says, Wagwag Lids, what's the worst rules you've ever heard of being put in place in a venue, comedy or otherwise? My mates and I went to see Frankie Boyle a few years ago at the Fringe. It was a Saturday night and we were all drinking before it. When we got to the venue, there were signs up everywhere saying that if you go to the toilet, you won't get back in. When we asked about it, we were told it's Frankie's rules. Given that we'd all broke the seal, it was a struggle, and out of our group of 10, only 2 made it to the end of the show, which was about an hour and 45 minutes. I get the thought behind it, but given it was a festival, most people have made a day of it. It would have been nice to have a bit of warning prior. Will there be any rules on the tour?
I absolutely agree with that rule, and I think you and your mates are fucking children for not being able to hold you in.
Alexander's, we did that every night.
Mate,
every show.
That is on an hour and 45 minute show.
There's no way at the Fringe the show was an hour and 45 minutes. It's an hour.
It would have been 45 minutes.
No, there's not. They're not all hour long slots. There's bigger acts doing tour shows at the Fringe.
With no break?
What?
No, there isn't.
An hour 45?
Yeah, there is.
An hour and 45.
Ricky Gervais did a show at the Playhouse while we were at the festival. There aren't all. It's not universal hour long slots.
If he's writing it's an hour and 45, which I don't believe, then fair enough. There should be an interval after an hour, but you should be able to sit down for an hour and not have a wee. And if the act doesn't want to let you back in, you've got no idea how annoying it is to be on stage and have groups of people going to the toilet and coming back. It disrupts not only the bit you get up to go to the toilet, but the bit when you come back. And if more than one group is doing it at a time, it ruins the whole show. So if you go to the toilet during the show, if the show is an hour long or an hour and 10, anything from 50 to an hour and 10, I'm totally on board with that rule. And I do not believe that Frankie Boyle did an hour and 45 minute show with no interval.
Yeah, that's a mad one.
Well, I do. Because some comics go long when you get to that size.
We were doing it when people were coming in Alexander's when I was running Adam's show. I was like, if you
but that's an hour.
Go now.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's that small. If you stand up, you fucked an entire row's view. You've got to come back. You're kicking glasses over. Just sit and enjoy for an hour.
Do you think you'd ever get to the point where you're doing the phones in a bag thing?
Yeah.
Chappelle and Rogan
I'd do it now if I could afford it. It costs you like £4 a phone.
Lad.
So you just add to the ticket price, don't you?
Yeah, but I don't want to add £4 to the ticket price at this stage.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could afford to do it now, I would absolutely do it.
I mean, if I could legally afford to have someone shoot the first person that acts the absolute twat, starts heckling or talking, that would be good, wouldn't it? Just have the sniper.
I'm tempted to take someone on tour, like a tour manager, who heckles in the first 5 minutes and literally gets like armbarred and thrown out the room. So that just sets the tone.
Ric Flair's mine. We're going to get him on tour with me. Yeah. He's going to sell the merch after anyone starts up. Pow.
You're going to battle them?
I would love that. I didn't tell you about this, but last week I did Hot Water on Wednesday. Do you know the new material? No, it's As Seen on TV. Yeah. But essentially, my set, although it's coming along, is newer stuff. I was closing. And because they advertised it, loads of lids turned up and they went from an early show to a late show that I didn't know was a thing that could happen. And then I was on stage at 11:20. A couple who had been a bit chippy in the first bit, I asked a question, they were the first to answer, decided, and they were pretty drunk at the first show, to stay for the second show. So 220 people, 230 people in the first show, they stayed, got wellied, even more fucking hammered. Yeah, they shagged. And then sat in the front row and were chipping in to the show for the other acts. And everyone was like, yeah, they are drunk. And then I got on. They'd be like, well, we're waiting for down. And started doing, because they'd seen the set 2 hours before.
Oh, no.
Started doing the bit. As I was getting to it, started heckling with the end of the bit.
I would have, the first time they did that, I'd have literally been so horrible to them that they never come and see me again. Fuck off.
They waited. They did all right. They did all right. But I was getting to the sort of last bit and they literally wouldn't let me get a bit out because they were going, oh, yeah, the thing. It literally stopped the gig. You know when one of them things happens where you're like, there's no coming back because they were so pissed. I couldn't go, right. I basically just dealt with that. And I was like, are you one of our lot from the podcast? And he was like, yeah, I'm a Patreon. I was like, oh my God, I dislike you so much. You can't even say Patreon. I'm a Patreon. Oh, I was like, you should know better.
Well, you should know than to not do that.
So we just closed the show with those fucking donuts.
I saw some comments about that, I think.
They were, the thing is, they genuinely wanted to come and see one of us and they'd been sound, but don't get that pissed and then no, they were until they got too hammered and then went, oh, we've seen these, so we'll help Dan with the next bit. It's a level of special I have never encountered. I've never seen anything like it.
Stupid.
Did he get kicked out?
It was the end of the show. It was the end of the show. But you know, and I could see it coming. Kay Nicholson was on doing a great job, and they were chipping in.
She's
I was
good
like,
there, isn't she?
Oh, she's great. I love Kay.
She's good.
She's going to be proper. But yeah, that was so... I've never had it happen. It's so weird. And it's not like I can do other stuff. I've got a 25-minute set that's new. Oh, God, don't do that. God, don't do that.